Hello everybody, it's John Johnston, Corn Nation. I have come out here to the Amazon rainforest to get away from things for a bit so I could clear my mind and think about Nebraska football and where we're going and what's going on. I'd like to talk to you today about relevance and what's going to happen to Nebraska if we lose the sellout streak. First of all, let's ask the question, is Nebraska relevant? Well, what's the definition of relevance? It's right here on my notes I brought to the rainforest where it says relation to the matter at hand. So what's that mean? That means when people are talking about college football, do they talk about Nebraska? Yeah, they're talking about Nebraska. I mean, Paul Feinbaum's already ripped us apart for our loss to Illinois. I'm sure Pat Forty's written an article talking about our tractors or cornfields or something. But people talk about us quite a bit. You know, over the past year, we've been ripped to shreds for wanting to play an out-of-conference game, wanting to play football in a pandemic. There's a long list of things where we continue to be talked about. They talk about Nebraska way more than they do other people. And why is that? It's because we're one of the biggest brands in college football. We're not very good. In fact, we, quite frankly, suck. But we are very relevant. And I think my biggest issue with this is I'm worried about it going away because we're going to have real problems if our relevance actually goes away. This week we play Fordham. It's a body bag game. There's probably not a lot of people interested in going to Memorial Stadium. So the sellout streak is in danger of ending. It's usually one of those games you take your kids to because they're going to have fun. You don't have to worry about it being a close game where everybody's screaming and it's maniacal inside the stadium. It's just going to be a fun time for kids who are going to watch, who aren't going to stay and watch the whole game anyway. So what happens if the sellout streak ends? The problem is, it's not just the sellout streak that's at stake. The sellout streak is social proof of Nebraska's brand. All right, we have only 1.8 million people in the state of Nebraska, and like me, expatriates all over the nation, all over the world. And honestly, I know a friend of mine in Thailand and Germany who watch Nebraska football religiously. That social proof shows that our fans still care about the football team. And that football team and that brand awareness and that social proof is what got us into the Big Ten. Because they know that we're a property. We're worth money. We are valued. Unlike Iowa State, whose future looks like they're just going to be left behind in a dying Big 12. So, would you rather be Nebraska right now, or would you rather be Iowa State? And don't get me wrong, I love Iowa State. I have good friends from there. Todd that does the podcast with me, you know, I love those guys. And I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but their future does not look good. Nebraska's future, I don't think we're going to get thrown out of the Big Ten anytime soon. But, you know, Kevin Warren's in charge, so who the hell knows what's going to go on. Every time Paul Feinbaum says something, we respond on social media. Every time Pat Forty writes some crappy article about our tractors, we respond on social media. Every time Colin Cowherd probably says something, I don't listen to Colin Cowherd, we respond to that. And that's why they do those things. That's why Nebraska has one of the biggest presence on social media, because we're constantly, I don't know, roaming the edges of our psyche looking for any offense so we can respond to it. Good job. The sellout streak is incredibly important in recruiting. You know, the recruits come and they see a stadium full of rabid fans and they want to play in front of fans. They don't want to go someplace where they're going to play in front of a few thousand people. And that's a big selling point. And we need recruiting. We need every advantage we can get in recruiting, because we don't have a population base. Even with that old 500-mile radius thing, we don't have a population base that's going to provide enough Division I football players for us to be a championship-winning team. And that's where we want to be. That's where we want to get. I don't think Scott Frost is going to be our coach at the end of the year. I'm not sure he's going to be our coach in 3 weeks. Next week? Today? 15 minutes? I really don't. Nothing is changing. We're not getting better. We're looking at the same old crap. I don't even know if we're going to win our next 2 games against Fordham, yay, and Buffalo. But after that, it's anybody's guess because we keep seeing the same old crap. We're going to need our fan base in place to sell Nebraska on the next head coach. Because right now, if you look at Nebraska football, if Scott Frost gets canned or leaves at the end of this season, we will have ended his career probably. Mike Riley's, Bo Pelini's, Bill Callahan's. We're becoming not a destination place, but a place where coaches' careers go to die. And that's not exactly something to sell to somebody. When you want them to come to, we're not going to sell Matt Campbell from Ohio State, who I would like to see as our next head coach. We're not going to sell him on coming to Nebraska if our fan base doesn't give a shit anymore. Hence the importance of staying relevant. And if you ask me what do we need for our next head coach, I think we need somebody who just knows fundamentals. They don't have to be some big wow name. They just need to be a decent football coach. Because it's not like the Big Ten West is full of juggernauts year to year. They're just playing better football than we are. We're already recruiting better than most of the rest of the Big Ten, especially the Big Ten West. So it's not like we need a wow name to come in. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. And that's where Nebraska is. We're kind of on the edge of not being talked about. And that would be a damn shame. Andy Staples yesterday, I think he's one of the best national college football writers, brought up the fact that Scott Frost could win and go 13-0 in the AAC at UCF, but he can't manage to beat more than 3 Big Ten West teams. Why is that? What happened in that time frame? And I'm sure everybody has comments on that. But it's an interesting thought. That's what makes the story about Scott Frost kind of interesting. That he did so well there and he's failing miserably at Nebraska. And you're all welcome to say nasty things about Nebraska all you want, I guess. I left that door open for you. I have to make my way out of the Amazon rainforest and back home again. Take care of yourselves. Fuck everything. Go Big Red.